Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 3 of Ni Sasowarete, Lured By. Enjoy. It was now mid-afternoon, and after asking around, you had been told that the bar in the underground was where you would get any information. And so you found yourself buying some new clothes from one of the stores there at the markets, and some high heels, and after changing in a stall nearby, you sauntered your way to this underground bar. "Well, hey there, miss," a burly man greeted you as you entered the bar. You flashed him your most seductive smile as you walked confidently past him and up to the bar. "A drink, please," you said to the bartender as you sat down at the high top there and placed your purse on the bench top. "What kind?" he asked. "The kind that can give me some information," you said in an airy tone. The bartender eyed you and then jerked his head. "This way," he said, and then stepped out from behind the bar and beckoned you to follow him. You got off the stool and followed behind him, down a side corridor to a room where he knocked on the door there, and you waited. "Yes?" a male voice asked as the door was opened. "This lady's after some information," the bartender said. "I'll leave her with you." The man eyed you up and down for a second and then nodded with approval. "Anything for someone this good-looking? Come on in." "Charmed," you said in an effeminate voice, batting your eyelashes as you stepped in and walked over to a seat that the man had gestured to you. "You're here for information?" he asked as he walked over and sat down in another chair opposite you. "What kind of information?" "Well," you said, trying to hold back fake tears, "I've had something stolen from me." "What is it?" the man asked, immediately moved to action by your tears. "Well, it's not of any real value, I guess, but this is an important heirloom," you lied, looking wistful. "It was stolen at night, so I only have a vague description of the person I saw taking it." "Yes?" the man asked, leaning forwards. "Do your best to describe them, and I'll help in any way I can." You did your best to describe a scene that would do more than just give him a vague idea of who it was you're after, adding in that you'd been woken from your sleep and that your sleeping attire had been a little revealing, making you worry that the intruder might have been after your body, but thankfully they had just stolen this heirloom and fled the scene. "We can't have men like this running around pretending to be part of a lawful government while stealing from innocent women," the man implored after hearing your description of the man. "Woman?" you smirked internally. "I've done well then if he's convinced of my gender." "I know who the organisation is. The symbol and coat you described belong to the Demon Slayer Corps," the man said. "Demon Slayer?" you asked with confusion. "Yes," the man sighed. "Not a lot of people are aware of this world. There are demons lurking at night who devour anyone they find." You laughed hollowly. "I've never heard of this," you replied, implying that he might have been telling stories. "Yes, only those who have seen demons know of their existence. But once you've experienced being in the presence of one, you'll never forget it. The Demon Slayers belong to an organisation called the Demon Slayer Corps. The Demon Slayer Corps is an organisation dedicated to hunting and killing demons. Technically, they're not part of the government, but they themselves in their own right are a government," he said seriously, the grave look on his face making your blood run cold. "If they're hunting demons, then—" You paused, remembering to stick to your story. "What were they doing in my house last night?" "Well," the man continued, thinking for a little, "seeing as the Demon Slayer Corps isn't officially recognised by the government, there could be people who are masquerading as them and doing criminal work to frame them." "Well, do you know where their headquarters are?" you asked, feeling like you'd just been exposed to something possibly much bigger than just retrieving a book for the man that you were head over heels for. "I do know there's a large estate at the end of town here, a little way out. I've heard rumours that's where their elite gather. You could try and ask there," he offered. "It's surrounded by wisteria plants." "Thank you," you said as you got up and bowed. "I'll look into it from here." "Be careful not to expose them," the man warned, "as there would be demons who would want to see their demise. They protect us. I hope it wasn't one of their men who stole from you." "I'll look into it," you said again as you got up to leave. "Thank you for your time. I'll make sure you're well compensated." "Oh?" the man said with a glint in his eye. "I look forward to that." You tried not to shudder as you left, making your way back out into the daylight of the now afternoon sun. Demons? Demon Slayers? Book? Muzan wants that book. Is he somehow involved? Does he know about the demons? You thought as you walked back to the house. Once you had gotten back to your room, you entered and walked over to your wardrobe, ready to change into something else for your meeting with Muzan that night. As you pulled your wardrobe door open, you saw a note there, a handwritten, scribbled note from Muzan, asking you to dress in your masculine form. Ever ready to please him, you did so, then left to meet him at the place that he had detailed on the note. On time, Muzan said as he stepped out of the shadows to greet you later. You immediately went into subservient mode and dropped your gaze as his hand rested on your shoulder. There were a few people walking the streets around you, many of them carrying various items for Halloween, considering that it was going to be the eve of Halloween the following day, but no one was interested in you or Muzan as they went about their way. You have news of your work today, yes? He said to you as he led you down a small alley to a restaurant under a dozen fairy lights. It was very picturesque, and for a second you were distracted by the beauty of the place. Yes, you finally replied, still wondering if you could ask Muzan about the book and why it was so important to him. But although you hadn't said a word, he could feel your hesitation and smirked as he sat down at one of the tables there, then walked around to the other side and sat down opposite you. I can feel you've got questions for me, he commented. Did your ears hear truths? You looked up at him, your eyes begging into his. Ask, he said as he sat back with a smirk. I will not be angered. Muzan, if I may, you said meekly. I inquired of some information and was told some things that I'm not sure if they are true or not, and I trust that you would reveal the truth to me, should I ask. You then got off your chair and knelt on the wooden floor beside it, bowing towards Muzan. Your beautifully phrased words pleased him, and he leant down gently on the tabletop. Ask, he said, waiting for you to present your question to him. I was told of the existence of demons and demon slayers. You started, pausing to see if he would say anything while you looked down at the floor. Do you believe in their existence? He asked. I've never seen any, so I cannot be sure. You replied. Have you seen any? You heard a deep chuckle come from Muzan. Innocence can be synonymous with stupidity with little knowledge, he said cryptically. You know not of whom you speak to. You looked up at him with confusion. Who are you? You asked meekly. I'm the king of demons, he replied in a power-filled voice, knowing that this revelation would shock you. Your face paled as you stared at him. Do I scare you? Do you understand what situation you're in? He asked with a smirk as he leaned back casually in his chair, still with his cheek resting on a closed fist. You swallowed thickly. What will you do to me? You asked with fear in your voice. Although humanity disgusts me, I will use what little good you humans have left to further my cause, he said, still looking down his nose at you with his piercing red eyes. Use me, my lord, you said, bowing your head to the floor so that your forehead touched it. This appeared to please Muzan, so he leaned forwards and reached for your head, placing his hand on it. The plot thickens. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Part 4 coming then. I'll see you then.